Good evening, everyone, from Larry Knight Field in Sumrall. It's time for Bobcat Baseball on the Sumrall Athletic YouTube channel. I'm Kelly Sander, along with producer-engineer Brody Courtney, on what turned out to be a beautiful night. This game against the Perry Central Bulldogs was originally scheduled to be over in New Augusta tonight, but the threat of impending rain moved this game to Sumrall because the Bobcats field drains much better, but as it turns out, very little rain, if any, in the area tonight. But nonetheless, here we are. The Bobcats against the Perry Central Bulldogs. Sumrall coming in to improve that 8-2 record. Let's take a look, first of all, at the batting order for Perry Central. Kason Backstrom leads it off playing second base. Eli Johnston, the first baseman, is hitting second. Caden Bolton, the center fielder, bats third. Batting fourth in that cleanup spot is the shortstop, Sebastian Bracknell. Batting fifth, playing third base, is Evan Parker. Batting sixth, wearing jersey number 6, is Garrett Gerald. He's playing right field. Jace Hill, the catcher, batting seventh for Perry Central. Then Jamison Phillips, the pitcher, hitting for himself in the 8-hole. And Cameron Moody, the left fielder, bats ninth. So it's Backstrom, Johnston, Bolton, Bracknell, Parker, Gerald, Hill, Phillips, and Moody. Defensively, for the Bobcats, and we'll go over their batting order when it comes to their turn in the bottom of the first inning. The battery, first of all, is Drew Davis and Cade Clinton. Davis not necessarily a surprise, but Clinton has been pressed into duty because of a little nagging injury to Walker Long. Meanwhile, Hawkins is at third base, Landon Hawkins. The other Landon, Holloman, is at shortstop. Tyson Hicks is at second, and Carson Moon playing first base tonight. The Bobcat outfield left to right, Caden Williamson in left, Barrett Brazil anchoring that center field position, and playing right field tonight, Hampton Baudouin. So here we go. Davis's first pitch is swung on by Backstrom and fouled back to the screen. The Bobcats will travel to Pine, Louisiana tomorrow, and that is a home completion. Pine came here, was it last weekend? No, the weekend before they were here. So the Bobcats will make that return over there. Strike and a foul back. 0-2 now to the leadoff hitter, left-handed hitting, Kason Backstrom. Next week, the Bobcats will begin district play with familiar foe Purvis. That pitch is low. Purvis here Tuesday night, and then at Purvis on Friday. Then they will travel to Enterprise Clark County for a tournament where they will face Milry, Alabama. That's the Sumrall schedule. That missed. 2-2 now to the leadoff hitter, Kason Backstrom, with Eli Johnston, the first baseman, on deck. Sumrall against Perry Central. Their second meeting so far this year. Swung on, grounded to short. Holloman's got it. Comes up, throws across his body, which is his favorite throw. Carson Moon able to keep his foot on the bag, and Backstrom is out on the 6-3. It almost looks like Holloman positions his body on purpose to that side so that he can make that throw, which he prefers. Here's Eli Johnston, with a T. The big difference between Johnson and Johnston. No wind at all to speak of here on this pleasant night. And kind of a sparse crowd here for both teams. You'd expect, on a night like tonight, big crowds. However, in fairness, spring break has just started. So a lot of people tend to split and head down to the beaches or the condos or wherever they like to escape to. Swung on and fouled back. We're under cover here, high atop the press area at Larry Knight Field. The ball is striking and out. Eli Johnston hitting for Perry Central here in the top of the first. Base is empty, 1 out. Drew Davis getting some work here tonight. Nice breaking ball in there for strike 2. Perry Central down a little bit on pitching. They've had some injury problems. And, of course, last Tuesday, 3 nights ago, they took on county rival Richton, and those always get to be swing and a miss. Got him out on strikes, so 2 up and 2 down. So you don't know what type of depth the Bulldog pitching staff will have tonight as they go up against Sumrall. Here's Caden Bolton now. center fielder from the right side. And Davis quickly to work, brings that 12-6 bender in there, and he fans on it. 0-1. As each weekend goes by, another weekend closer to the beginning of the Major League Baseball season. Here's the 0-1. That missed low, 1-1. And college-wise, Southern Miss was trailing Valparaiso 2-1 early going game one of that three-game series at Pete Taylor Park. Here's the 1-1. Breaking ball, grounder to second. Should be routine. Hicks has got it, flips to first, and the Bulldogs are out 1-2-3 in the first inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. No one left on base. At the end of a half an inning, no score. Sumrall coming to bat. Sumrall Bobcat Baseball on the web is brought to you by the following sponsors: Diversified Forestry Management, Real South Hunting, American Graphics, and a special shout out to Stan Wellborn for his support. Watts Brothers, Kids Campus Learning Center. That's Kids Campus with K's. Kids with a K, Campus with a K, Learning Center. The architecture firm of Landry, Lewis, and Germany. The Alpha Insurance Agency of Spencer Nixon. Winburn Lawn and Landscaping. Parkwright Striping and Seal Coating. And High and Tight Gentlemen's Club. We thank all of those businesses for their support, and if you are in the need for any of their products and services, we hope that you will put them high atop your list. Let's take a look at the batting order now for the Rawcats. Landon Holloman leads it off. He'll be followed by Drew Davis in the 2-hole. Barrett Brazil solid in that 3-hole all year long. Cade Clinton batting in the cleanup spot tonight, which is normally where Walker would be. Then Leo Odom, the designated hitter, swinging it for Tyson Hicks. Odom batting 5th. Landon Hawkins bats 6th. Then rounding it out for Sumrall is Carson Moon playing first base. Caden Williamson, the left fielder, and then Hampton Baudouin, the right fielder. So for Sumrall, it's Holloman, Davis, Brazil, Clinton, Odom, Hawkins, Moon, Williamson, Baudouin. Don't forget, you can reach us in the press box on our text line 601-310-7077. We'll give you a shout out. We'd like to know where you're watching the game from and if there's a particular player that you're cheering for. Whether you're a Perry Central fan or a Sumrall fan, we would love to hear from you. And already the text messages are coming in. Mac, we're missing you. Mac Baudouin is in Alabama right now. Says, I hate I can't be there, but, well, of course, you're in Alabama. You'd rather be anywhere else. We know that you're on a spring break trip and hope that you're having a good time. And we look forward to your safe return, Mac, and hope that we have some good news for you here tonight. Landon Holloman leading it off. Taking on the lanky right-hander Jamison Phillips. As we get underway here in the bottom of the first inning, I'm not sure it could be any better for baseball than it is tonight. Not too hot, not too cold. The rain that was expected today, it looks like now it might be coming in tomorrow. In fact, Southern Miss has moved game one of the Valpo series tomorrow. They've moved up the game from 1 p.m. to 11 a.m. and hopes to get that in. First pitch to Holloman is off the mark. Going from the stretch here, the 1-0 pitch is way outside, 2-0. And again, it's getting to be more every day that pitchers are working out of the stretch all the time. It used to be in the old days with nobody on base, they'd go from the full windup and then go from the stretch with a runner on. But now you see pitchers going from the stretch almost all the time. Swung on, chopper to third. Backhanded, picked back up, long throw to first is in time, and Holloman is out on the 5-3. Good play by Evan Parker at third base. One away. And here's Drew Davis now. The center fielder for Perry Central, Caden Bolton, is shaded a little bit toward left. And a special salute tonight as the first pitch comes swing and a miss to Kason Backstrom, the second baseman for Perry Central, who is in, we understand, we're not sure what grade, but a junior high player. He's in the 8th grade and playing at the varsity. 9 8th grade players on this Perry Central team. Just one senior on this squad, coached by Ryan Jackson. Sebastian Bracknell, the shortstop, who will lead it off for Perry Central next inning, is the only senior on this Perry Central team. The 1-1 pitch, high and inside, 2-1. Ann Williamson watching from Petal tonight. Thank you for the kind words, Ann. Cheering for the Bobcats tonight. Here's the 2-1 pitch, inside, 3-1 now to Drew Davis. So you got an 8th grader, Davis, hitting for Sumrall, and you have an 8th grader at second base for Perry Central in Kason Backstrom. Which that's unusual at this level. There's ball 4. That you see anybody from the 8th grade playing varsity. In Perry Central, you got 8 of them. And here's Barrett Brazil. Now, Brazil's so superstitious about some things. He had already reported to the field tonight and had forgotten his yellow stuffed animal, his sunshine bear or whatever he calls it. He went back to the locker room to make sure that the sunshine bear would get a bird's eye view of this game. Runner going. First pitch is outside, no play. And Davis advances. Actually, Malik McNair has gone in to run for Davis, as Davis, being the pitcher, can have a runner for him. So he's at second with 1 out in a non-force situation. 1-0 pitch. Low, 2-0 now to Barrett Brazil. As I look into the dugout, no particular clear view from here as to where the sunshine bear might be perched. But it's in there. There's a strike. 2-1 now. Brazil will have to get to work. And Sumrall headed over across the border tomorrow to play Pine, Louisiana. They had a pretty easy time of it with Pine over here, and now they'll go over there and help them make a few dollars. There's a call on the strike on the inside corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Cade Clinton on deck. Sumrall batting in the bottom of the first. Slated for 7 innings tonight. Jamison Phillips on the hill. The 2-2 inside. Boy, it looked like he wanted to. It looked like he wanted to go up with that right hand, but it was just off the plate inside. So we'll see if Andy Davis puts McNair in motion here on 3-2. He does not. Swung on, and this one is lifted to left field, playable. Coming in left field to make the catch is Cameron Moody. He gloves it, and McNair has to hold at second base. So 2 away. Now McNair will be moving on anything hit, and here's Cade Clinton. You know, sometimes when pitchers aren't throwing it up there at 82 miles an hour or whatever, it can be a little off-putting to teams when they're used to hitting the harder stuff. They have to, make an adjustment. And certainly Jamison Phillips, there's the throw to third. McNair is out. He was on the move, but nice throw down there by Jace Hill to retire McNair. So the Bobcats go down, and Clinton will start with a fresh count when he comes to bat in the bottom of the second inning. But we've completed one here in Sumrall. No score. This is the home of Sumrall Bobcat baseball. So Perry Central coming to bat here in the top of the second inning. Hitters 4, 5, and 6, Sebastian Bracknell, Evan Parker, and Garrett Gerald. Old Glory taking a rest out there in center field tonight. No activity. 325 down the left field line. 305 to right as Davis against Bracknell. The first pitch is there for a strike at the belt buckle. Drew Davis, what a future he's got in front of him, barring injury. And it seems like any more these days, for pitchers, it's not a matter of if they're going to get hurt at some point, but when. 0-2, that one's high, 1-1. And you certainly hope that's not the case for all of them. It just seems to be nowadays. But that's the way it's going. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss. And people often ask, how come softball pitchers can go out there every single game and pitch and baseball pitchers can't? And it's because physiologically, the way the body's designed, it's designed to throw like softball pitchers throw, not the way baseball pitchers do. That one's chopped foul wide of first. So the count will remain 1-2, but alertly Davis over there to cover the bag. Should Carson Moon have to make a play. So 1-2 to the Perry Central shortstop. He'll be followed by the third baseman, Evan Parker, who did a good job in throwing out Holloman in the bottom half of the first inning. Here's the 1-2 outside. So Cade Clinton getting some miles on the tires back there behind home plate tonight. Always good to get different players some work in other positions when you can, because you never know when they will be called upon. That pitch is high, 3-2 now. The Sumrall outfield has Bracknell to go the opposite way just a bit. There's been some cosmetic changes here at the field. We're going to tell you about here in a second. The 3-2 pitch swung on. Here's a high chopper. It will be fielded and then booted, kicked by Moon. E3 in the book. So Perry Central with a man on. And here is Evan Parker.
Third baseman, Evan Parker.
Righty versus lefty, this matchup now. But the home plate area, you can see it plain as day right there in our beautiful HD feed. Compliments of many of your sponsors who have gotten us the best equipment possible for a baseball broadcast. That one's tipped foul. All that carpet around home plate, brand new, brand spanking new. And they repaired, you remember last weekend in the Rex Adidas tournament, there was a little spot toward the front of the pitcher's mound where pitchers were landing with one of their feet, and it kind of dug out a hole there. That has been repaired. And around first base, there were some problems. Those of all of those problem areas have been replaced. So, for all practical purposes, a brand spanking new field here for Sumrall. 1-1 the count to Evan Parker. Perry Central batting on the top of the second. Here's one right back to Davis. They'll go to second for one. Easy play there. Not in time at first base. So it'll go as a fielder's choice. Bobcats did everything they needed to do there. Just Parker getting out of the box from that left side. He got those couple extra steps, and that's all that was needed. And here's Garrett Gerald now. Playing right field, batting right-handed. So Parker at first base with one out. Had a hunch, but laid off of it, and that's ball one. Well, when you look at this Sumrall schedule this year, certainly there are the usual suspects, the Perry Centrals, the Pedals. Here's a grounder toward third. Holloman again to his right, again across his body, makes the play at first. But did you see there where that ball, he could have fielded it a different way and taken a different throw, but he loves that across the body throw there.
Catcher, Chase Hill.
Advancing to second is Parker on the play. He's there with 2 outs. Gerald was out on the 6-3. There's 2 away. And here's Jace Hill now, the catcher. But we were talking about on the schedule the usual suspects of, Petal and first pitch swinging here, and that's fouled out of play. But some newcomers like Pine, Louisiana this year, Millry, Alabama. Of course, that's part of the Enterprise Clark County tournament. Ridgeland now showing up on the schedule a little more often. The 0-1 tried to hold it up but couldn't. He's in the hole now, 0-2. Part of that is, you want your kids to see some other teams, but the other part of it is a lot of teams just don't want to play Sumrall. I've always felt like you play good teams, that's what makes your team better. There's a breaking ball, got him on strikes as he was looking badly fooled on the breaking ball. So no runs, no hits. There was 1 error and 1 man left on base. Clinton will lead it off for the Bobcats when they come to bat in the bottom of the second. No score here from Larry Knight Field. This is the home of Sumrall Bobcat baseball. Christy Martin has checked in on our text line at 601-310-7077. Christy, I got to tease you a little bit. You're normally like the first one to check in, and you've been slacking a little bit, Christy. We got to get you back with it. Of course, now I know what has taken most of your time, putting all those blue and yellow hearts and baseballs on the text message at 601-310-7077. No score between the Bulldogs and the Cats here on a Friday night in northwest Lamar County. Cade Clinton will lead it off. He'll be followed by the Sumrall DH, Leo Odom. Then the third baseman, Landon Hawkins. On this brand new carpeting, you can look down there and see that that's all fibrous material. I mean, it looks like it's that beautiful red clay dirt, but it's all carpet. So here's Clinton. Holloman, the only lefty that has been faced so far by the starter, Phillips. All the rest have been righties up to this point. And he's got Clinton here leading off, the right-hander. The first pitch was outside. Bobcats committing that error, but it wound up not costing them a run. Bottom of the second inning, swing and a miss. Again, some of this off-speed stuff might be throwing the timing of the Bobcats off a little bit. You can see Coach Cooley a little bit disgusted already at first base with those arms folded. The 1-1. It bounces back to the backstop, 2-1 now. Well, it counts. There's kind of 3 different seasons. The preseason, which are all these old tournament games and warm-up games. Then the district season, which is what determines your playoff seedings and so on. And that starts Tuesday for Sumrall when Purvis comes in here. There's a strike, 2-2 now to Clinton. And then, of course, the postseason. So you can imagine the Purvis Sumrall games next week are going to be high on the list of priorities for baseball fans around the area. The 2-2 pitch And that hit him. So Clinton is the catcher. We'll see if
Designated hitter Leo Odom.
somebody runs for him, and that is the case. Colby Pittman
Courtesy runner at first, number 3.
is in there to run. Our boss, Anita Sumrall, checking in tonight. She's got the Cats on YouTube and the Lady Cats on Game Changer. So she can obviously multitask. Us men, we're always guilty of not being able to multitask. First pitch to Odom is high, ball 1. So, man, you look at social media now and just see how Sumrall athletically has grown the past 5 to 7 years. The prominence of the soccer program, softball making its way into the headlines. Baseball has always been that way. Swung on, fouled out of play. So the hit and run may have been on. Pittman will have to retreat. And Odom will face a 1-1 count. And the Sumrall football team this fall playing Hattiesburg as one of its non-district games. Here's the 1-1. Low, 2-1 now to Odom. Now Andy Davis has got a good hit and run count here on 2-1. We'll see if he puts him. I think he probably had him in motion that time. The way that he kind of looked at Pittman, just the body language tells me that he might have been in motion there, but didn't go. Now going this time. Pitch is outside. Throw to second base, not near in time. And as good a job as Jace Hill did in throwing out McNair in the first inning, he just had trouble digging that one out of the pocket. Otherwise, he might have had a chance to get Pittman. But in the meantime, it might not have mattered because it's a 3-1 count to Odom. And that's low, ball 4. So a hit batsman and a free pass here. Runners on first and second, nobody out, and here comes Hawkins now. Hawkins, another right-hander. No score, but we're all Cats making some noise here in the bottom of the second. So runners are in a force situation now. They'll have to go on a ground ball. First pitch is high, ball 1. Landon Hawkins, the quarterback of the football team, and actually a lot different than some of the other Hawkinses that have preceded him. He's tall. A lot of the other Hawkins, great baseball players, just not very tall. Certainly didn't hurt them from playing at high levels, but it certainly doesn't hurt either. 2-0 to Landon Hawkins, batting 6th in the order for Andy Davis. So this is a good fastball count right here. Hawkins will be looking for fastball. Got it and drove it, but foul out of play outside the left field line. He was waiting for that fastball, and he hammered it just outside the line. Hawkins will be followed by Carson Moon, the first baseman tonight. Odom DHing. 2-1 pitch. There's a strike on the corner, 2-2. Was not after Hawkins barreled up that fastball. He was not going to give him another one right in a row. Came with the off speed. We'll see what he brings Hawkins this time on the 2-2. Kicks and delivers. Breaking ball again, but that's wide of the mark. So decision time for Andy Davis on 3-2 now. Well, not really. But we'll see if he has the runners in motion. No outs. You certainly don't want to run into an out here. The pitch. Inside, ball 4. So another walk. The bases are full.
First baseman, Carson Moon.
Moon up there to bat now. And the parade of righties continues as Jamison Phillips has gotten himself into a jam here. He's going to have to work himself out of it. Caden Williamson and Hampton Baudouin to follow as the Bobcats working their way down the order the first time through. First pitch is high and tight. Again, the Bobcats will travel to Louisiana tomorrow. Corners are in for the Bulldogs. A sharp will hit ground ball. They'll bring it home for the force out. Middle of the infield playing back for a double play. The 1-0. Too high. 2-0 now. And here comes Ryan Jackson. And as he walks out to the mound, Andy Davis will talk to Moon. And as if Moon didn't know, I'm sure one of the things he's telling him right here is the fastball's coming. Be ready for it. And as Bill Murray once said in the movie Meatballs, try to hit it very, very far. Some of the greatest coaching advice ever. So Ryan Jackson taking his time talking to his youngster out there. It's selection weekend. March Madness, the NCAA basketball tournament begins next week. The NIT begins next week. Southern Miss, a guaranteed invite to the NIT. So all those announcements coming on Sunday. 2-0 the count to Carson Moon. The pitch. Swing and a miss. He was waiting on the fastball, just missed it. So 2-1. And you can bet almost on another fastball because he gets behind the hitter 3-1. You're in danger of walking a run in. He went breaking ball, though. Outside, 3-1. Jackson positioning his outfielders more toward left. The center fielder, Bolton, shading more over toward the left. Big pitch here for Carson Moon. The 3-1 delivery. Low, ball 4. So there's a run for Sumrall. A hit batsman and 3 straight walks has brought Pittman in, who was running for Clinton. Odom moves to third, Hawkins to second, and Moon goes down to first base, and here's Caden Williamson, a left-handed hitter. One of only 2 in the lineup tonight. He and Holloman, the only 2 left-handers. Well, batting left-handed tonight, as he can hit from either side. Caden Williamson defensively in left field. The 1-0. There's a strike on the corner. Again, the corners for Perry Central in. Don't need to hold the runners. They can't really go anywhere. Inside, 2-1. And, it's kind of frustrating as a defender because there's no defending a walk. I mean, there's nothing you can do. The shortstop for the Bulldogs, Bracknell, is almost over the second base bag. That one gets away, but the runners will stay anchored. When you see Bracknell, you can see him out there in the white jersey, almost right behind second base. So kind of a shift of their own. The left side of the infield wide open for Williamson, the 3-1. Ball 4, high and outside. So that's another walk. And we talked about that the Bulldogs have got some pitching issues because of injuries. So 2 runs are in, and Ryan Jackson may be making a change here. And he is. Timeout on the field. New pitcher for the Bulldogs. We'll set the table for you when we come back. Right now, Sumrall leads at 2-0 at the home for Sumrall Bobcat baseball. Sophomore Branson McDaniel takes the hill here for Perry Central in the bottom of the second inning. Sumrall has plated 2 runs and hasn't needed to put the ball in play. Clinton led off the inning. He was hit by a pitch. And then Pittman ran for him. Then Leo Odom walked. Landon Hawkins walked. Carson Moon walked. And not like Michael Jackson Moon walked. I mean, Carson Moon walked. And then Williamson just walked. So a hit batsman and 4 straight free passes have given Sumrall a 2-0 lead. And Hampton Baudouin will be the first guy to face Branson McDaniel. The tall drink of water, throwing it from the right side, so you'll have a righty-righty matchup here. And again, that shift that Perry Central has Bracknell almost behind second base. First pitch is low and outside, ball 1. If the base umpire over at third had a glove, he could be playing shortstop for Perry Central right now. But the Bulldogs shortstop is behind second base. The 1-0. Swung on, and that's a foul out of play over here to our right. Other sports news today, you may have already heard it. The Chicago Bears have apparently traded the number 1 pick in the NFL draft, going to the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers are going to give up DJ Moore and some other considerations. Here's the 1-1. Swung on again, and that one's off the fist, also to the right side. 1-2 now to the Sumrall right fielder. At last report, Valparaiso was leading Southern Miss 2-1 at Pete Taylor Park, game 1 of that 3-game series. Valparaiso starting its season this year with 20 straight road games. Here's the 1-2. Strike 3, got him on strikes, took something off of it. And fooled Baudouin, 1 out. And here's Landon Holloman now. And I beg your pardon, I think I've been saying that Landon Holloman's a left-handed hitter, but very much from the right side. There's a strike. The wind will not be a factor tonight. That's the reason why it's so pleasant. If that wind were to kick up a little bit, it'd be a touch on the cool side. The 0-1. Strike 2. Holloman grounded to third his first time up. It was a hot shot that Parker had in his glove, then it popped out of his glove. He had to track it back down with a bare hand, but was able to throw Holloman out by half a step. Here's the 0-2. Swung on, he defended that one and fouled it off into the screen to the right. Bobcats looking to garner another win and go to 9-2. The 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball. Here's a high fly ball to left. Playable. Coming in and making the catch in left field, but tagging from third and scoring is Hawkins. So it's a sacrifice fly for Holloman. They get an RBI. And it's 3-0. Other runners held their position, so Moon is at second, Williamson is at first. They're in force situations now on a ground ball, and here's Drew Davis, the 8th hitter of the inning for Sumrall. Bobcats looking for a gapper here, which could open up a big gash in the Bulldogs here early on, and there's a called strike. So far, so good for Branson McDaniel, the sophomore right-hander for Perry Central. Bobcats have scored 3 runs, but have yet to put up a hit. Runners going, and nobody in position to take a throw. So runners advance to second and third to where a base hit would score 2. But meanwhile, back at the ranch, Davis is behind in the count, 0-2. The 0-2 pitch, breaking ball. That was swung on and fouled off to the football field over here to our right. You're talking about the Bears trading that number 1 pick. Is there anybody that's that obvious that's the number 1 pick? Oh, pitch is inside. I mean, who might the Panthers be trying to get with the number 1 position? Well, there's talk that the quarterback for Alabama is who they may be going after. They need a quarterback, that's for sure. Here's the 1-2. Outside, 2-2. And if Aaron Rodgers of Green Bay winds up going to the Jets, look at all the stud quarterbacks that'll be in the AFC and hardly any in the NFC. Here's the 2-2. Inside, 3-2. With Brazil on deck. 3-0. Sumrall. Bobcats batting here in the bottom of the second inning. Second meeting of the year against Perry Central. The 3-2 pitch. Low, ball 4. Davis knew it, and he shuffles on down to first base. So the bases are loaded again for the left-handed hitting Barrett Brazil, who flew out to left field his first time up. McNair running at first for Davis. So if Brazil can put the ball anywhere in play, you've got speed plenty out there on the bases. Including Brazil himself. First pitch to him. Low, ball 1. And you know Brazil wants something to hit here with the bases juiced. Or ducks on the pond, as you might say. And I know there's ducks on the pond because I hear them coming from Brody's phone over here to my left. There's ducks all the time. Here's the 1-0. There's a strike. And boy, that thing was blistering up there at probably 45 miles an hour. I mean, that one barely got to the plate. But when you're not used to seeing that, I'm telling you, it can be troublesome. The 1-1 inside, 2-1 now to Brazil. He's the 9th man to go to the plate this inning for Sumrall here in the bottom of the second. 2 outs, runners will be moving on contact. Sumrall already leading 3-0. The pitch. Called it outside. 3-1 now the count. So, decision time for Brazil. If it's not something that he can just absolutely mash, he probably has permission to take it. But if it's in position A, he wants to try to yank it. The 3-1 outside and high, ball 4. That's another Sumrall run. So runners will advance. Again, all of this with no hits for Sumrall. So now you've got Williamson at third, McNair at second, Brazil at first, and here's Cade Clinton now with the bases loaded. Clinton started this whole thing when he got beaned. That was by pitcher Jamison Phillips. That's low, ball 1. We have a much better view here from our press area on inside and outside than we do high and low. Clinton catching tonight. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swung on. There's a drive to right center field. That ball is well hit. That ball is gone. Aloha on the steel guitar. Cade Clinton has done some yard work here tonight. A grand salami. Cade Clinton looking for the fastball. He got it and busted it to right center field. It is 8-0 Sumrall. Wow.
Designated hitter Leo Odom.
Some quick hands shown there by Clinton. So here's Odom, who walked and scored his first time up. A line score that you rarely ever see. 8 runs on 1 hit. You rarely see that at any level. Odom in the 5-hole. Well, you see why Andy Davis put Clinton in the 4 spot tonight. He just delivered a base cleaner. First pitch to Odom is outside ball 1. You can tell that Leo really wants to swing the stick, but it's one thing, too, to swing at bad pitches. So base is empty now. 2 away. The 1-0 pitch. The second pitcher in as many innings. Bobcats have been the recipients of 6 walks in the inning. A hit batsman and another pitching change being made here by Perry Central. We'll take a break. Bobcats lead it 8-0 over Perry Central. This is the home of Sumrall Bobcat Baseball, the Sumrall Athletics YouTube channel. So taking the mound now for Perry Central is Evan Parker, who played third base. So he's been deployed here to pitch. And coming in to play third base now is Preston Hollingsworth. So Hollingsworth at third for the Bulldogs. Base is empty, 2 outs. And a 1-1 count to Leo Odom. 8 runs on 1 hit for Sumrall. But again, you know, we documented, just as we went on the air tonight, the problems that Perry Central was having with injuries in its pitching staff. So you would expect, as they try to find themselves pitching-wise, that they might have some problems. There's a breaking ball away, 2-1 now. Swing and a miss, 2-2 now the count. Should Odom reach, then Hawkins would come up again for the second time in this inning. The 2-2 pitch. Swung on, tried to get a piece of it, just slap it to the right side of the infield because it was toward the outer part of the plate, and just put it out of play. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Deuce is wild here for Odom. From the full windup, Evan Parker swung on. This one is lifted out toward right field. This will be a difficult play. Right fielder coming in and making the catch. It was a great play coming in from right field by Garrett Gerald. And the Bobcats are out of the inning. 8 runs on 1 hit. There were no errors, no one left on base. We go to the top of the 3rd inning. It's the Rawcats 8. The Bulldogs of Perry Central nothing back after this timeout. This is the home of Sumrall Bobcat baseball. So here we go to the top of the 3rd inning. Hitters 8, 9, and 1. Jamison Phillips, Cameron Moody, and then Kasem Backstrom.
Leading off the top of the 3rd for Perry Central, number 3, Jamison Phillips.
Actually, Phillips will not hit here. It'll be Preston Hollingsworth. So Hollingsworth has been inserted where Phillips was. Updating the college baseball scoreboard, Valpo leading Southern Miss 6-1 in the top of the 7th inning. That would be some Southern Miss fans won't be too happy with that. There's a swing and a miss as Davis brings it into Hollingsworth. Righty versus righty this matchup. Second pitch is low, ball 1. Cameron Moody, the left fielder, on deck. As Perry Central trying to get some base runners. Swung on. There's a little looper towards second, but handled easily by Hicks and right at him. He didn't have to move an inch. So the soft liner puts 1 out on the board, and here's Moody now. Let's check our text line at 601-310-7077. Splinter. I wonder where old Splinter's been. Splinter checking in tonight. First pitch, swing and a miss. He's not only watching Sumrall tonight, but checking in on Southern Miss, kind of going back and forth. The news much better here, Splinter, in Sumrall than at Pete Taylor right now. But glad to have Splinter with us. And the McRaneys have also checked in tonight. They're grilling and chilling tonight on Lincoln Road. They kind of like that Landon Holloman kid, as we all do. So glad that you checked in, Raymond and Truvy McRaney. 0-2. The count to Moody. Was able to just get a piece of that one and put it into the screen. So nothing intrude. Drew Davis in command here, and now his mates have spotted him with 8 runs. And the way that Davis has pitched so far this year, you can't imagine him needing any more than about 3 or 4. 0-2 pitch, breaking ball, swing and a miss, way out ahead of it. Down on strikes, 2 up and 2 down. Now back to the top of the order, and Kaysen Backstrom, the 8th grader. But being the leadoff hitter against a pitcher like Davis, you know this kid is fearless. Tried to drop a bunt down. Good for him. It's just foul. He'll have to come back and try it again. And in fact, in all fairness to Kaysen, the varsity uniforms generally made for bigger guys, and here's a kid where the jersey doesn't necessarily even fit like it should. But man, good for him. Like I said, 8th grader getting to play varsity. And you can just tell by the way he carries himself, he's fearless. Here's the 0-1. Was called low. A ball and a strike now. Should he reach, then Eli Johnston, the first baseman, would come to bat. Inside. 2-1. Sumrall defense. The problem when you have a pitcher that pitches so well, like Davis does, sometimes you can be lulled to sleep a little bit defensively. You got to be ready to make a play at any time. Here's the 2-1. Swung on. Chopper toward third. Hawkins has got it across his body. Good play. Nice, strong throw from third base. And that retires the side. The Bulldogs go up and down 1, 2, 3. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left. We go to the bottom of the 3rd inning here in Sumrall tonight. It's the Bobcats 8, the Bulldogs nothing. This is the home of Sumrall Bobcat baseball. Sumrall coming to bat in the bottom of the 3rd inning. We talked about Kaysen Backstrom being an 8th grader. So too is Preston Hollingsworth, the 3rd baseman for Perry Central. So Evan Parker back out there to pitch again, and he will face Hawkins, Moon, and Williamson in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
For the Bobcats, 3rd baseman Landon Hawkins.
Hawkins walked and scored his first time up. So perhaps this will officially be his first at bat. Playing him to pull slightly. Caden Bolton favoring that left side of the outfield. First pitch is a pop out of play right behind us here. Hawkins got that chain around his neck with a crucifix that's hanging down there. I hope that doesn't present a problem. From the full windup, Parker's pitch swung on. There's a shot to third. Comes up with it. Throws to first. Errant throw. It was a bad throw. But Hollingsworth fielded the ball. Just a bad throw, so it'll go as an E5.
First baseman, Carson Moon.
Their first error of the game, so each team has a miscue, and here's Carson Moon now. He walked and scored his first time up. He would have been close anyway over at first base, but I think they probably would have gotten Hawkins. First pitch is high and inside. Sumrall taking to the road tomorrow to Pine, Louisiana. Is that where Louisiana College is? Or is that Pineville? Pineville, okay. Snap throw back to first. Runner back in time. Umpire Kevin Britt right there to make that call. Boy, Kevin Britt, the first base umpire, you see him everywhere. He's junior college games down at Pearl River, basketball, baseball. 2-0 count to Moon. Runner going. Inside, throw to second is into center field. Hawkins will take a couple steps and then pull back. It was a called strike to Moon. The Clark boys from Northwest Rankin are watching their cousin Landon Holloman. Northwest Rankin, man. This internet thing's pretty cool. I think it's just a phase. I think it's just a fad. It'll go away in a couple years, I think. Pick off play at second base. Hawkins back in time. Glad to have the Clark boys. They play a little baseball up there at Northwest Rankin, don't they? In fact, KK up there, their head coach, did a lot of coaching in the youth leagues down here in the Lamar County area when he was younger. Here's the 2-1 pitch. There's a nice breaking ball in there for called strike two. Hawkins at second with no outs. Moon at the plate. Sumrall on cruise control at this point. Here's the 2-2. Just fouled it to stay alive. So while the Eagle baseball team's struggling a little bit tonight, the basketball team will find out its fate Sunday night. Not really their fate as far as which tournament they're going to be in, but where they will travel to. There's been some speculation that they will be heading to Birmingham to play UAB in an old Conference USA pairing. Two and two the count. Again, the pitch. Way outside. Getting away from the catcher, and Hawkins will race to third base. So the count fills now to Moon. I'm actually trying to see what kind of moon we have out tonight, but with rain around, not going to see the moon much tonight. The payoff pitch, too high, ball four. So Moon is on. And here's Caden Williamson, who will go up there again left-handed. That shift that the Bulldogs had on earlier defensively is now off. They're more in traditional defensive positions here now as they work to Williamson, the number 8 man in the order. First pitch running. Moon down there without opposition. So runners on second and third in a non-force situation for the runners. And this is an ideal situation. Williamson, a left-handed hitter. He'd like to get anything hit to the second or first base side. Even if it's a ground ball, that would score Hawkins from third. Not like runs are a necessity at this point, with Sumrall leading 8-0, but still, just the execution of good baseball. 2-0 the count. Fastball count right here. And there's the fastball. And a looper into left center field. That drops, that's a hit. One run will score, the other runner will hold. No throw to second base. So advancing to second is Williamson on the throw that was cut off. Advancing to third is Moon. Williamson to second. And here's Hampton Baudouin with runners on second and third and nobody out. Again, lots of times as a hitter, in fact, all the time, if you can take the guesswork out of it and know what's coming, and you're sitting fastball, it's a lot easier to rope one than if you have to guess. The 1-0 count to Baudouin. Swing and a miss. Now I know it's not coming from your phone, Brody, but I'm still hearing duck sounds. Is that below us somewhere? The 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball outside. And you're not a duck hunter, right? You just have duck sounds on your phone. Here's the 2-1. Breaking ball outside, 3-1. On my phone, I program it so that whenever somebody rings in, it's a certain song that reminds me of them. Like when my mother-in-law used to call in, I would have the music from The Wizard of Oz when the lady was riding the bicycle, you know. There's walk, ball 4. You guys have seen The Wizard of Oz, right? All right, bases loaded, and Ryan Jackson out of the dugout again. With the bases loaded and no outs. And Landon Holloman comes up. And another pitching change here. And the starter may be coming back in here. That is well, no, Jamison Phillips is going to come back into the lineup, but he'll go to first base. And it looks like the first baseman, Eli Johnston, is going to get his turn to pitch. So we'll see as the Bulldogs make some defensive changes or shifts. We'll take a break. Sumrall leads at 9-0. This is the home of Sumrall Bobcat baseball. So that is exactly what's happening. Eli Johnston will come in now. The fourth pitcher that they've used in 2 innings. And they're trying to find some arms now with some of the injuries that they've had. It's one thing to get injuries, but to get them this early in the season, you'd think immediately that would be a negative, and it's never a positive, but to try to develop a staff now just before you head into district play, if you're going to have to do it, now's the time to find them. So Holloman, with a new pitcher, stands in. There's to third base. They'll go for the force out at home. Smart play as the third baseman, Evan Parker, who's back there at third, goes on the fielder's choice to home. So there's 1 out. Bases remain loaded, but everybody else moves up a station. And Holloman is at first. So Williamson at third, Baudouin at second, and Holloman at first now with 1 out for Drew Davis. Gets away from the catcher, can't pick it up, and flying home from third base is that Pittman? Oh, Caden Williamson, yeah, of course. Williamson from third makes it a 10-0 ball game. So Baudouin advances to third, Holloman to second. And a 1-0 count here. Outside, 2-0 to Davis. He'll be followed by Brazil. It's Bobcats batting here in the third inning. 8 in the second, 2 more here in the third. That's low. 3-0 now. Outfield shaded toward left. Drew Davis walked both times tonight. One time he was forced out at third. The other time he scored. So the 3-0 way outside. So the bases fill up again. And here's Brazil.
Center fielder there, Brazil.
Brazil flew to left and walked. McNair running for Davis again at first base. So 1 away. Here's the first pitch to Brazil, swing and a miss. Tried to pull a pitch that was to the outer part of the plate. The executive lounge in right, just a few people. The Partios, though, have got some folks out there tonight. The 0-1 pitch swung on. Here's a grounder to second base. And right through the wickets of the second baseman, Kaysen Backstrom. That scores 2 more on the E4. Right through the wickets. He was down, ready to make the play, and it just skidded on him. So, scoring on the play were Baudouin and Holloman. McNair advances to third. And Brazil is at first, and here's Clinton, the 7th batter of this inning. First pitch, here's a drive to center field. That's being tracked. Play made in center. It'll be a sacrifice fly. McNair tags up and scores, and Cade Clinton has 5 RBIs tonight. And gets another one on the sac fly here.
Batters number 45, Connor Walker.
There's Connor Walker now. As Andy Davis goes to the bench. First pitch is inside, ball 1. Walker hitting for Odom in the 5 spot. Runner at first, 2 outs. There's a strike. 8 last inning, 5 more this inning. In this case, 13, a lucky number for Sumrall. The 1-1 pitch. Outside, 2-1. Landon Hawkins on deck. Sumrall batting in the bottom of the third. We're scheduled for 7. But if the Bobcats continue to get timely hits, we may not get 7 innings in tonight. There's a liner at the first baseman, tipped his glove, went into right field. That'll be ruled a hit for Connor Walker. Brazil held at second base.
Third baseman, Landon Hawkins.
And here's Landon Hawkins now. Hawkins walked and scored, reached on an error and scored. 2 outs in the inning. Little pop fly that'll get out of play right over here behind the Sumrall dugout. Although we talked about, not a big crowd tonight from New Augusta and one of the smaller Sumrall crowds you'll see, but they'll all be here Tuesday night, trust me, when the Purvis Tornadoes come to town. Here's the 0-1. There's a shot into left field. That's down. This will be just a single, a long single, and I respect very much what Andy Davis is doing here. It would have been Harrison coming into bat now for Sumrall. What I was about to say is this game's well in hand. Andy Davis just holding runners going station to station. It would have been very easy for him to wave Brazil home. But going station to station, here's Harrison now with 2 outs. First pitch to Harrison is a strike at the knees. No, there's no sense in demoralizing anyone. I think this is really good sportsmanship. And then, there would be some coaches who would say, no, man, if you can beat us 20-0, do it. Well, I don't believe in that. But there's strike 2 to Harrison. Harrison hitting for Carson Moon. Caden Williamson swinging a stick. Should he be called on again? Here's the 0-2. Too high. 1-2 now. That was a tough break at first base. Jamison Phillips was there. That ball was in position. Just didn't get the glove open in time, and it kind of skimmed right off the top of the glove. That's low. 2-2. No place to put Harrison. Brazil at third. Walker at second. And there's a called strike on the outside corner. And that'll do it for Sumrall. 5 runs on 2 hits. So we finished 3 here in Sumrall tonight. It's the Bobcats 13 and the Bulldogs nothing. Pitching change for Sumrall. We'll have that for you in just a moment. This is the home of Sumrall Bobcat baseball. Riley McGrew has come on to pitch for Sumrall now.
Number 24, Riley McGrew.
So Andy Davis got what he wanted, drew some innings in tonight. And now, with certainly a comfortable lead, he lets some other people get some innings in because a experienced staff is what it's all about down the playoff trail. Hitters 2, 3, and 4 come to the plate for Perry Central in the fourth. Eli Johnston, Caden Bolton, and Sebastian Bracknell. So the lefty McGrew. He and Keaton Malden, the two main lefties here. Don't know who will start tomorrow for Sumrall and Pine, although there's speculation it might be Dr. Jack Miller. That pitch is outside, 2-0. Lefties sometimes, when they don't close that front shoulder, they have a tendency to drop out of it, become more sidearm, and then have trouble kind of hitting that they miss outside a lot. That one was over the plate but low. 3-0 now to Eli Johnston. There's a strike. St. Patrick's Day next Friday, a week from today. March Madness next week. Man, it's going to be wild, isn't it? That pitch is outside. So the first walk given up by Sumrall pitching tonight. And here's Caden Bolton. Now another pinch runner. Dawson Little, is it another 8th grader? 9th grader, okay. Perry Central, a really young team. So here's Bolton. He grounded out to second base his first time up. And that pitch is low. As Riley McGrew working the fourth inning, as Drew Davis hardly cracked the sweat in the first three. The 1-0. Outside, 2-0. Defensively, for Sumrall, Caden Williamson in left, Brazil in center, Baudouin in right. Here's the 2-0. There's a strike. Cade Clinton, who has played left and right, has been enlisted to play catcher tonight with the injury to Walker Long, although we don't think it's too serious. There's strike two. Very pleasant night here in northwest Lamar County. The 2-2 pitch. Outside, 3-2. And that's what I was talking about. You see how McGrew, when he's missing, tends to miss outside a lot. Here's the payoff pitch. And that goes inside. That hit him.
Number 11, Sebastian Bracknell.
So runners on first and second. And here's Bracknell. Bracknell hit a ground ball toward first that was mishandled by Carson Moon. And he takes a ball outside low. So the Bulldogs have their first two runners aboard here in the fourth. There's a base hit to center field. That's down. Bobbled a little bit by Brazil. They'll cut it off here, and the bases will be loaded. So they go station to station on the base hit by Bracknell. And here's Evan Parker now. Started at third, pitched a little bit, and then went back to third. And you got a lefty versus lefty matchup here. first pitch to him is low, ball one. So the bag's full of Bulldogs. The 1-0 pitch from McGrew, low again. Good chance for Andy Davis to give the pitchers some innings, give the pitchers some work. Three and 0 now. I think the scoreboard has it 2-1, but it's 3-0. There's a strike. 3-1 now, the count. Ground ball back to McGrew, of course, he'll bring it right back to the plate. That's as short a throw as any. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Fouled at the plate. Tried to jam him in on the wrist a little bit. None of the runners being held here. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Too high. Ball four, a run in for the Bulldogs. And the skipper coming to the mound, Andy Davis. Talk about a guy that wears lots of hats. I report to the game, early enough to do a little bit of research, get the lineups in and so on. And who do I see taking tickets tonight at the main gate but Andy Davis? He said, "Hey, we're all team players here. We do what needs to be done. Go where you're needed." I said, "I hear you." So the base is still loaded. And the right fielder, Garrett Gerald, comes up now. Trying to settle McGrew down, but again, missing outside, ball one.
Number 6, Gerald.
Gerald hitting sixth in the order for Ryan Jackson. Checked his swing, but he did go around. Tried to check his swing, I should say. 1-1 the count. Perry Central batting in the top of the fourth inning. Swing and a miss. When McGrew is over the plate, he's been effective in trying to nibble the corners. He's just been missing outside, as he does again. 2-2. Bolton at third, Bracknell at second, Parker at first, with nobody out. Swung on, that's driven down the right field line, but twisting foul and almost got into the Sumrall bullpen down there. Next pitch by McGrew, 2-2 pitch, outside again. Count goes full. Big pitch coming up here. Bobcats have had a couple guys loosening in the pen, and like Perry Central has used some pitchers, this would be an opportunity for Andy Davis to get some of his young arms some work as well. 3-2 pitch coming. He got him on strikes. He wanted to check it, but you know what? I think it was strike three anyway. So one away. And here's Jace Hill, the catcher. It was certainly close enough that you needed to be swinging at it. It's a big out for McGrew. First pitch is a perfect pitch for strike one. That gives you a little bit of confidence too, Gets the signal, gets to work. The 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss. Riley McGrew, the lefty. You never know down that playoff trail when you're going to need guys in key situations. And there's a called strike. He got him on 3 pitches. 2 away.
Batter number 3,
Here's Jamison Phillips. Phillips was the starting pitcher, then was put in to play some first base. The first pitch to him, swing and a miss. So they'll be moving on contact here with 2 outs. Sumrall got 8 in the second, 5 more in the third. The Bulldogs have put one across here in the fourth. There's strike 2. Boy, McGrew is in a groove now. McGrew is in a McGroove. Ahead in the count here, 0-2. The hitter's got to hit his pitch, and he goes fishing and misses. So McGrew finishes the inning strongly. 1 run, 1 hit, and 3 men left. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning here in Sumrall tonight. It's the Bobcats 13, the Bulldogs 1. This is the home of Sumrall Bobcat baseball. So we get back to work here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Caden Williamson looks like he will hit first, but then the Bobcats will go with some guys off the bench. Malik McNair looks like he's swinging a stick. So Jace Hill, who was the catcher, is now the pitcher. We just got a call to the press box that PA announcer Mike Peterson will be pitching next for Perry Central. He's got some eligibility left. So that's what we can tell you, is that Jace Hill is the catcher. And the Bulldogs have kind of turned the carousel on making different positions, changes at different positions. Because again, it looks like it'll be Williamson, McNair to lead off this inning, and then Cody Broom, it looks like, has a stick. Sumrall comes to bat here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Williamson has walked and singled. He's scored both times and is credited with an RBI. So righty versus lefty this matchup. The catcher for Perry Central giving it a run. And missed just high with ball one. "13 runs, just 3 hits for Sumrall. Of course, they've been recipients of a lot of walks, a lot of hit batsmen. That's a strike on the inner half of the plate. A couple of inopportune errors for the Bulldogs. The 1-1 pitch. Tried to frame it. Nice job by the catcher trying to frame that, but it was out. 2-1. Best seat in the house here at Sumrall. Each and every night we get to call a game. I'll have the game for you Tuesday against Purvis. Here's the 2-1. There's a strike on the corner. And then Tyler Johnson will have the return trip at Purvis next Friday night. That'll be St. Patrick's Day. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him on strikes. So Williamson is the first out. And here comes Malik McNair.
Batter number 6, Malik McNair.
McNair powerfully built. A lot of power in the frame that he's got. First pitch, swing and a miss. Dead straight away here. The Bulldogs have got McNair played. And it looks like Cody Broom is on deck because that one is fouled off. McNair in an 0-2 hole now. So Cody Broom would hit in Holloman's spot. 0-2 to McNair. Jace Hill, the catcher for Perry Central, giving it a go. Just missed. Low 1-2. And if Jace Hill has not thrown before, he certainly looks like he can get it done. Here's the 1-2. Swung on. There's a drive to left center field. That ball is well hit. That ball will carry him off the fence. McNair with a 1-out stand-up double here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Kept his weight back on the bender and drilled it. Now here's Broom. First pitch to him is low and away, ball 1. Boy, McNair jumped on that one. He was all over it as he barreled that one up. And I thought it had a chance to play Aloha on the steel guitar. And on the pass ball, McNair advances to third. Bobcats won't be stealing any bases, but on a pass ball, players just have that instinct to go. Here's the 2-0. 3-0 now. To Broom. Here's the 3-0 pitch. Swinging on 3-0 and fouled it out of play to the right side. Braden Smith on deck. Bryson Smith, former Sumrall standout, pitched for Southwest earlier this week against Pearl River. Southwest had a chance to win that game. Pearl River had to walk it off. Here's the 3-1. Swung on and slapped foul down the right field line, just beyond the executive lounge. Three and 2 to Cody Broom, hitting in the spot of Landon Holloman. Here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Perry Central got one in the top of the 4th. Breaking ball. This is a little slap ball into foul territory, caught by the first baseman. So Broom is out on the little pop. 2 away. And here's Smith. Braden Smith. Righty versus righty, this matchup. First pitch swung on, ground ball to first. Should be a routine play, and it is. Grounder. The good thing about this turf, man, you get a really good predictable hop. And right into the glove of the first baseman, Eli Johnston. And the Bobcats go down, do strand a runner after the one-out double by McNair. So we go to the top of the fifth inning. Bobcats lead at 13-1. New pitcher for Sumrall as well. We'll set the table in just a moment. This is the home of Sumrall Bobcat Baseball. The 11th grader, Patrick Thomas. Comes on to pitch for the Bobcats. One week from St. Patrick's Day, Patrick Thomas on the hill, and he will face hitters 9, 1, and 2 for Perry Central here in the top of the fifth inning. 10-run rule in effect here. Cameron Moody, the number 9 hitter for Perry Central. This is only his second at bat, believe it or not. And we're in the bottom of the fifth. With that shiny new turf, as we look right down on it. First pitch is perfect. Nice job putting that right down the middle. There's a drive to left field, but being measured in left, on for the routine play. Making that catch in left field is Tyson Hicks. So Tyson Hicks, who started the game at second base. Well, yeah, it sure is, the left-hander. Look like they moved some people around, but it is Caden Williamson. My apologies. Cody Broom goes to second base. Moody flies to left field, so one out. And Patrick Thomas has been on the money. He's facing Kason Backstrom. Too high. Backstrom has grounded to short, grounded to third. He's an 8th grader playing second base, but we've talked about the toughness that he has shown. Ahead in the count here, 2-1. 3-1 now to Backstrom with Eli Johnston on deck. They pulled the outfield up a little bit. The 3-1 pitch is high, ball 4. So he coaxes a walk out of Thomas. Eli Johnston up now. He has struck out and walked, but when he walked, he scored. So now Patrick Thomas will go from the stretch here. First pitch swing and a miss. coming right at him. And, just when you think that, well, Sumrall graduated all these guys, they're not going to be that good. Well, if you've got pitching, you have a chance. And Sumrall never seems to run out of pitching. Swung on, grounder towards short, a chopper towards short. Only play is at second. Throw to first. Not in time. Boy, I didn't think they had any kind of chance for a 6-4-3 with that ball hit to the right. Kellen Garcia at shortstop started that play. So Backstrom is rung up at second. Johnston at first base on the fielder's choice. 2 outs. And now a new hitter for the Bulldogs. Branson McDaniel, who came in, was the second of 4 Perry Central pitchers used. Thomas ahead in the count. 0-1 throws it back over there. So again, Garcia now at short. Shea Smith is at third. We talked about Cody Broom at second. Carson Moon still at first. There's strike 2. But Patrick Thomas has been pounding the strike zone. McNair is in right. Brazil, who's a definite set piece in center field, he's not going anywhere. And in left field, Caden Williamson. So 1 and 2, 2 outs here in the top of the 5th inning. Bulldogs have got to come up with 3 runs to keep this game alive. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Nice job, though. Nice job. I was impressed with Patrick Thomas on the hill tonight for Sumrall. So 13-1, the final score via the 10-run rule. Our next webcast will be. We'll have the feed for you from Pine, Louisiana, tomorrow. But our next feed with commentary will be Tuesday night when the Purvis Tornadoes and Sumrall Bobcats begin district play here in Sumrall. I'll have that one for you. And then Tyler Johnson will join you Friday night when the 2 teams go back to Purvis. 13-1, the final score. Your Sumrall Bobcats have defeated the Perry Central Bulldogs, and Sumrall ups its record to 9-2. Thanks to all of our sponsors, including Diversified Forestry Management, Real South Hunting, American Graphics, Stan Welburn, Watts Brothers, Kids Campus Learning Center, Landry Lewis Germany Architects, the Alpha Insurance Agency of Spencer Nixon, Windburn Lawn and Landscaping, Parkwright Striping and Seal Coating, and High and Tight Gentlemen's Club. For producer-engineer Brody Courtney, I'm Kelly Sander. Thanks so much. The Bobcats win it 13-1. You're watching Sumrall Bobcats.